I don't need a reason to feel down. I often feel as if I'm living on the edge of a precipice anyway, and that one wrong step the wrong way can plunge me into an abyss of suffocating depression and darkness, from which it can take me weeks or months to extricate myself. But I have found something that can prevent this, or at least make these episodes less frequent, and that is journaling. So please join me today as I share with you my process for using journaling to make you more happy and more productive. There are times when I am as empty and emotionally vacuous as the blank page of a journal. And similar to that anxiety that most of us get when contemplating what to fill a blank page with, I remain in a loop of intrusive, self-defeating thoughts and inaction. And it is not necessarily a cause that puts me there, but then a single mark on the pure, flawless page, a twisting ribbon of ink, troweled by the nib of a beautiful fountain pen. It doesn't ruin the page, it fulfills it. Pages were meant to hold these minute scribbles of inks, tied like knots, like little spells, these symbols standing in for letters, letters for words, words often recognized by their forms, and these forms conjure pictures in our brains. This amazing alchemy, turning pigments and dyes into an expression of the humanity of the writer. And if the writer was broken then, lost in a depressive loop that can make the most empathetic person, the most loving father and friend, sociopathic in grief, regret, anxiety, and hopelessness. When you are in the abyss, you cannot see beyond your own need to end this pain. You are the paper, the blank page. And yet, that first mark that fulfills the purpose of the page also restores some affect to you, some connection to who you are, who you were beyond the grip of depression's icy grasp. But the big question is, how do we break the curse of the blank page? First, write the date. Dates are the mile markers of your life, and not each one is gleaming and glorious. Some are hard fought and battered, but all are important measuring marks to who you were, who you are, and perhaps more importantly, who you are becoming. And this will become even more important further in the video. We all live in the space of time known as the unfolding now. And yet, as each moment falls away into then, into a period of the past, the only way to hold on to it is to describe it shortly after it happened to you. And these moments will become very important as you build your own journal. So now you have the first thing, which is the date, and the second thing is to simply describe what happened. What was the event that was significant enough for you to write about it? What happened today? Answer this question, and don't worry, something will come to you. It may not at first. The page may seem to mock you, to challenge you to come up with something to fulfill it, to fill it up, even partially. But don't worry, you will. Ask yourself, what happened? Or, what is happening? What happened, my friend? As a sentient being, you are constantly making simultaneous decisions. You are having conversations, maintaining your life, engaging in the struggles and conflicts of modern life. It is a lot of self-data. And were you to describe all of this in your journal, you would become the journaling equivalent of Karl Ove Knausgaard. In order to bring something to your journal, to select it as subject worthy of writing about, you are already subconsciously self-selecting from everything that has happened to you recently. Your mind is already distilling down all that information to its essence, to the important parts. So describe what happens. Okay, so here is a very important point. Now ask yourself, how does this make me feel? This has twofold purposes. For one, it helps as you describe your emotional landscape and commit your personal topography of feelings to the page so that you have an evolving, ongoing description of your state of mind that comes into play shortly in this video. We'll get to it. Secondly, in that moment, you are now opening up, reconnecting to your emotions, to your ability to feel connection with other people. You are healing and moving up and out of the abyss, albeit often frustratingly slow. But this is a demarcation, and you cannot underscore that enough. This is a first and important step, as important as writing the date. This is the moment you are moving toward the world, toward love, toward warmth and family and friends, and away from the darkness. One of the ways that I begin to feel better is to open up, to redirect my focus away from myself and toward the world around me. Writing is a safe way to do this, to confess, to confide, to consult, to ask questions about your situation in a way that no one else need see, read, or criticize. Because sadly, when we often go to others for help, they tend to minimize our concerns or the extent and effect of our depression. You may hear counterproductive cliche phrases like, just cheer up, it's all in your head, or get over it. These sorts of comments can frankly make me feel even more isolated and even more depressed. People who have never been depressed are oblivious to the fact that there is often not a cause or a precursor. It's rather a change in the body that descends like a demon, completely robbing us of our happiness and comportment and sense of safety. This is why if you feel that you need or want to speak to an actual person, it's often very important to seek out a healthcare professional. We all need a way to vent, a place to confide, to unload and unburden ourselves. And yes, our loved ones, friends, and others can be a great sounding board or warm emotional connection in times of need. A journal may also take on some of these characteristics as well, since if you push yourself to be completely honest with yourself while you're writing, there is no reason to dilute your message or self-censor for others' sensibilities the way you might if you were speaking directly with another person. In this manner, you can view your journal as a vault, holding your secrets, your anxieties, and your problems in a very secure way only known to yourself. There is something in the writing of these things, of binding them to the page with ink, of wholly describing everything and then finishing, ceremoniously capping your pen and closing your journal. It is an underscore, a method of letting go, a beginning of letting go. I mentioned before that the dates and what you wrote would become important, and this is why. After a few days and weeks of writing in your journal, you will have a history of your mental state and see how it has evolved over those days. This will help you in many ways, but some of the more important ones are, it helps you see when you are straying off of your center and getting sucked into the centrifugal force of the abyss. This gives you time to make adjustments in your life, to find your triggers and try to disarm yourself, to save yourself, or at least make the drowning lake of depression shallower. Secondly, when you are struggling, you can look back and see that you have been through worse, and you have survived that, and so you will survive this as well. Describing how you feel goes far in helping you to solve how your mind works, which things are important to you, where you feel safe, where you feel unwell, what happened next, and what the causes are between. It's all in your journal, and you need to employ a bit of self-diagnosis to bring this out so that you have the data, the information of who you are emotionally. And yes, I said it earlier that sometimes depression just comes on. It seems more chemical than anything else. It can hit you out of the blue, but at least if you know what your state of mind is, then hopefully the dip will be much more shallow and you will be able to climb out of the darkness that much quicker. No machine that I know of, or Fitbit, or Apple Watch, can give you this type of data, but a journal can. This is what makes them so important for mental health. There is nothing else like them. And you can use this. You can do this. You can journal. You can make it effective for your life. You are strong, resilient, and you will carry on. Journaling can be a very effective tool to keep you happy, to keep you balanced, and to help you to learn how your own mind works. So thank you very much for watching today. I hope you got something good out of this video, and if you did, please leave a comment. Let me know if any of these tips help you in your journaling and mental health journeys. Also, if you've reached this point, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you on this journey with us. We go to some amazing places, and I'd love to have you along. And if you'd like to support the channel even more, please consider becoming a member. I'd certainly appreciate it, and we have a pen pal group for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members, so I'd love to see you behind the scenes as well. So I make new videos all the time, and I have a live show each week as well, so I can promise you we will see each other again further up the road. So please, take care of yourself.